Yeah, we just start over, man. I erased our glitchy version, so I just hit live, and we're streaming now with some better quality. We should be good. So those of you that were trying to watch a minute ago, we got Eric with us, Eric Auger. Am I pronouncing that right, by the way? That's how I would normally say it.
It's Auger, but everybody says
Auger.
Yeah,
Okay, excuse me. This
you're fine. No worries. Everybody does.
yeah, the French. It's the French name, no?
Yep. Yeah, I'm from France, born and raised there.
Okay, and you're in Vegas right now,
Las
though.
Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So anyhow, we were talking about the buyer campaigns, using the NAEA white papers and extracting out of that information to build yourself a real simple campaign, which you started. And so why don't you just break down your structure, kind of like we were a minute ago, and fill everybody in.
So I needed to find a campaign. After I set the appointment, the consultation, I needed to figure out a way to keep these people warm and hot and engaged, to avoid cancellations. And so that's how, after talking to you, I came up, well, you actually said, hey, why don't you do that? And I thought it was a fantastic idea. So
Yeah,
I took the NAEA buyer white paper, read it a few times, just to assimilate the content, the structure, the progression. And what I did is I broke it down in 8 short videos, 2.5 to 4 minutes, where I take one of the law in each video and I go over and I explain what it is. I explain the difference in the marketplace, and I explain the benefits, to the client, and then the results that comes from that benefit. So the reason I did it over 8 weeks is because sometimes I have appointments that I set up for 3-4 weeks ahead of time. So I figured I might as well just spread it out over 8 weeks, and I can also use it for my 90-day campaign for those appointments that I haven't scheduled yet. So I can repurpose it at the same time. So the first video is I took the intro, so that the first 2 or 3 pages of the white paper, and I rewrote it, condensed it a little bit to make it, more usable on video. I also changed some of the language because I had to use words that I normally use, so that it flows naturally without changing the structure, but, just to change, the way it sounds. And I have at my house, I turned, one of my bedroom to a studio, put a big green sheet on the wall and got some lightings for like $100, a good camera, and a little teleprompter that works with the iPad. Loaded all the the script on the iPad and sat down and started talking to the camera. So all in all, it's not a difficult process. It takes a little bit of time. If you're not used to do video, it might take a few trial and errors. But really, it can be done with very simple equipment. I use a DSLR camera, but you could very well do it with an iPhone. Actually, even like the iPhone 13, the quality might even be better. Yeah. So, there is no need for lighting and equipment. If you have, decent lighting, your iPhone on a tripod, a green sheet on the wall, and then everything else can be done inside of iMovies. You don't need anything. You don't need to use DaVinci or the softwares that are very complicated and professional. And you can achieve, a decent quality to where when people watch the video, they're impressed. It screams, hey, this guy is professional. He invests himself in what he's doing. And so, the hope is that that video will keep those people engaged and hot to where they get excited about the appointment.
Yeah. So, so it goes back up. So you'd sent me a message, that was like, hey man, I like those seller campaigns that you shared. It was like the swipe file 30 or 90 days, 6 month, and a year-long seller campaign. And so we were pointing to, in a lot of those emails and stuff, to pieces of the white papers and, the seller white papers. And we would definitely extract 7 laws. There's 7 emails, not only 7 emails, but 7 videos. Matter of fact, I could take each law and make it like a social post. So right there's 21 assets, right from I think that was just one law. So right there, the way I described it, there'd be 21 assets per law, but it's all right there for the taking. And so when somebody goes, hey man, what do you think I should make this what should I use for content? If you're having a hard time creating your own, it's like, man, I would take and extract those 7 laws. There's 7 things right there to talk about. Each one of those could be delivered via inbox, via video, via X, Y, and Z. So you can take that one law, like I said, get 20 plus pieces of content. So he said, did you do anything on the buyer side for that? And I'm thinking back to the active brokerage chain Mike had like in 2015. And we were literally all we did was focus on listings. Miranda, some other people that were part of the team then, including myself, would sit and make calls to expireds and cancels and for sale by owners. And we were running home value campaigns that would generate, those home value leads. And that's all we were focused on. And so when I went and made those campaigns, that's all I was thinking about. And so we didn't really do a whole lot on the buy side. We did use the smart home buying strategy and all that language. So if we were speaking to somebody, we had those scripts, and we have our smart home buying strategy, whereby once we know the terms, the condition, or not, excuse me, I see now I'm getting tested, but so Eric, we do have our smart home buying strategy, whereby once we know the criteria, the location, the amenities, everything else that you're looking for in the home, we can provide you with real-time updates, including corporate owned homes, recent discounts, even homes that aren't even on the market yet. Would that be helpful for you in your search? Right. So we still use that script. Yep. But, there's also a white paper that breaks down the 7 laws of the certified home buying advisor system. And so I said, you could take those 7 laws out of that white paper and do the same thing. If you're using the presentation that goes along with it, that language says there's 81 different variables, right, that can affect the price, terms, and conditions on which you purchase your next home under. So 81 different variables. I could choose maybe a third of those are only applicable. Well, then there's like 24 right there. You could do 60-second, you could do 15-second videos on the variables. Variable number 1, CHBA, boom, right? I mean, there's a whole strategy right there where the content's there for you, and he's got it on his placemat right there.
Yeah,
and so
you can just take every single one of them and make a video.
Boom, 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 right? And especially good for like YouTube Reels and Instagram and stuff like that. That's what I would be trying to do. So I wouldn't have to come up with all the content, use what's there. And what's great, it's like you said, whether or not you meet with the person while they're on day 2 of your campaign or not, right? It still either reaffirms that they made the right decision. If they sign paperwork with you on your appointment, then it just reaffirms that they made the right decision. If they didn't, and there's some window of time in which you have to do a second sit or something, you're continuing to build authority during that time in between you getting back in the door, right? So I think it's fine, if the campaign lasts a little bit longer than what your appointment was. But the other great thing is you're indoctrinating them I'll finish right here, Eric, because I want to hear what you have to say, man. It's more important. But it gets them indoctrinated into what you're going to say from the beginning of hello until you show, right? So if it's an ISA or it's Eric, and if it was generated in this way, as a matter of fact, no matter how it was generated, they would be exposed to the system and the expert advisor methodology. So if it's an ISA, that ISA is saying, when's a good time for you to talk to Eric about our smart home buying strategy, right? If it's him making a call, setting an appointment, it's about the smart home buying strategy. And I'm a certified home buying advisor, spent time on educating myself, only X% ever do that, yada, yada, yada. So then the campaign they get is the same thing. Boom, man, now it's getting like the 15th time I heard the message, it's sinking in. Then Eric shows up with that placemat, and it's like, oh, wait, it's like a balloon that lifts everything back to the top of my mind that I heard for the last 48 or 72 hours in every piece of his content. So it's like I'm already primed to receive his message. Go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. And the fact that, usually typically an appointment is maybe scheduled maybe a week ahead of time. So, I can change the frequency. But also the thing is that if somebody cancels and they get, 3 or 4 more videos after that, and the call to action at the end of the video is scheduled an appointment, it increases my chances of bringing that person back into my net. Oh, I lost you. Can't hear you.
There we go. We'll dig into the weeds now, man, and let's look at the assets that you've gotten done so far to share with everybody so that they can kind of copy. That's the goal here, is that you guys could copy and realize it took you what, from the moment you messaged me to the time you sent me that first video, it wasn't more than 10 days when you took what I said and
Took me
implemented it.
probably an hour and a half to script the video, an hour to kind of be comfortable with it and loading up on the teleprompter. And I had to re-record it like 3 times. After that, there was probably another hour and a half. And about an hour and a half of editing and post-processing, and I was ready. So really, each video can be done inside of 4 hours.
So you tell me I could create at least a week-long campaign to follow my buyers. Let's say a 10-day campaign, a 10-day authority campaign to educate my buyer on the expert advisor methodology. I could probably get that whole 10 step campaign done in one day if I really focused on it.
Oh yeah. If that's all you do from 7 in the morning, 7 p.m., I'm sure you can get it all done in one day, and then you never have to look back. You just rinse and repeat every single time.
So let's share your screen and show them what you have gotten started looks like.
All right. Okay, so this one is about, I think it's.
And make sure you check that button so you can play the sound. This time.
The national. Can you hear the sound?
Yep, we're good.
Okay. Association of Expert Advisors conducted a nationwide study over the past 2 years that revealed a proven system to help you buy your next home and avoid the pitfalls that swallow up many buyers on their way to home ownership. What you will learn in this controversial video series has been highly guarded by the real estate industry for over 105 years. What you're about to learn is what most real estate agents will never tell you about how to buy a home, save lots of money, and even have equity in your home the day you close your purchase. So let's start with a few stats that you may not have known about the real estate industry and buying a home. The reasons that more than 31% of the home purchases fall apart before they even make it to the closing table are the following. Reason number 1, the average real estate agent sells 4.5 homes a year. Reason number 2, the average real estate agent is only required to take 90 hours of training before starting to sell real estate. Reason number 3, the average real estate agent spends less than $500 a year on technology and programs to help buyers locate and secure the homes for their needs. And the final and fourth reason is the average real estate agent took as many as 12 weeks to get their buyer access to only 12 homes over that same period of time. Hi. My name is Auger, a 20-year veteran of the real estate industry and a graduate of the National Association of Expert Advisors and a certified homebuyer specialist. If you're new to my channel and want to be notified every time I add new home buying videos to it, subscribe now. Click the bell button and you'll be notified every single time. So let me ask you this. Are you aware of what it takes to buy a home today and how to save thousands of dollars on the total purchase price? And more importantly, do you know what it takes to find the right home and actually have an equity stake in that home the moment you leave the closing table? The answer may be yes or no, but either way, there is one fact above all others that you absolutely must know, and it's this. There are over 80 variables that need to be managed during the home buying process. And mismanaging, or worse, missing out on one of them could be the difference between overpaying for the home or getting the deal of a lifetime. And even worse, it could also mean missing out on the best opportunities altogether. Now, it's not important that you know how to get the best home for yourself in your specific situation. But what's important, however, is that you know how to find the right agent to help you do so. The right agent is an expert advisor who is trained to help you locate and then secure the absolute best homes for your need. You see, working with the wrong agent will almost always guarantee failure. In this 8-part video series called How to Avoid the 7 Costly Mistakes Home Buyers Make, you'll discover the 7 laws that expert advisors like me have learned through hours and hours of rigorous training. By the time you're done watching the next 7 videos, you will understand the importance of creating a smart buying strategy, and you will know exactly how to avoid the 7 most costly pitfalls home buyers experience through the process of buying a home. And if you don't want to wait, you can schedule a free consultation, one-on-one, a free smart home buying system consultation with me by just clicking on the link directly underneath this video. That was it. With the French accent.
So your script came right out of the white paper, roughly, no?
Yeah, I made very few changes, just so that it
Yeah.
flows and more natural. But that's it.
Yeah, so that was there. It's not like you had to figure out what you were going to say. It was there for the most part. And just another example, as I look at it, man, you did such a good job. But think about, like, there's stories for marketing in there. There's, even little 60-second and 15-second pieces of content inside that short, whatever it was, 4-minute video, right? And so if I paid somebody on Fiverr or something like that, $25, they could take and rip that video up, and I'd have other assets that I could use through other channels on Instagram and different things like that. So keep that, in mind, is that we always look to expand, extract, and repurpose all those pieces of content that we're creating. We don't want to necessarily do something to just do it once. That's what makes me, I'm like, man, I could take that, boom, boom. That's a good little 15-second deal, whatever. And then the other way that you could use this, right, is you could take that white paper and you could create a lead magnet with a simple landing page and a form to capture people's email addresses to download that white paper on its own as a whole. And then that would trigger the delivery of your 8-video, right, home specialist series. And so you could target an audience, either your database, so you could take everybody who's in your database, your KV core, whatever it is, export them all out in an Excel or CSV file, and then go into Facebook and upload it. And, they've made changes, yes, recently. It's a little bit harder to budget and target, but, it's an avenue that you should try. And so it would be upload your database and create a custom audience out of it. And you could create a couple image ads or something, pushing people to download the white paper, an audience of potential home buyers that you could target either through your database or otherwise, just doing criteria selection, and target those people to get them to download that white paper. And when they download that white paper, here they go. They get that first video, which is the welcome video. And then for the next 7 days, they get your videos that talk about the system. And then I'd imagine that 8th video is probably asking them to schedule a consultation again.
Yeah, on each video, I asked them to schedule a consultation because I wanted to use it to keep those people hot, warm, but also for a cold audience, just like you said, I could have a lead magnet with the white paper and it triggers that campaign until they schedule an appointment. So I wanted to be able to use it both ways. I didn't want to have to re-record the whole thing.
Yeah, and you got the email started. Can you show the email that you had showed me just to give everybody an idea on how you positioned it that way?
Yep. Yeah. Hang on, let me just get that up on the screen.
And so what CRM do you use, Eric?
I use high level, go high level.
Yeah, okay. So, so you're moving people left to right through the pipeline.
Yep.
So you're going to trigger this campaign, just to walk through the tactics. So you're going to go in and one of the strategies you starting off with this is going to be those people that you have an appointment with. So in go high level, I'm moving that person to appointment set, more than likely, and appointment set, that status or whatever it is you want to call it, that's going to trigger this campaign to start. Is that right?
Exactly. Yep, exactly. So the moment it says appointment set, it's the campaign kicks in.
Perfect. And so here we're saying, real quickly, any agent can help you buy a home, but only an expert advisor can give you the protection, advice, and direction you need to get huge savings when you buy your next home. So that's good stuff. The AFA doesn't have the knowledge, the skill set, or anything else to get you the best home. That's why you need the smart home buying strategy essentially there. And then you've got video number 1 of the 8-part video. This is called the 7 costly mistakes. That goes right along with the PDF. Matter of fact, you could add in the next day, you could have an email that said, if you caught the video yesterday, you probably want to learn more, click here to download the entire white paper, right? So now we're taking that one piece of content and even adding more to the campaign. So you'll have 8 videos, but there could be 8 emails that talked about each one and said, download the report. So actually, you could take this same copy even and change out this video and reference the report below. And now I've got 16 touches, right? Essentially the same copy explaining each law 8 pushing to videos, and 8 pushing to actually download the report. So it's, I mean, this is great. And understand, guys, that nobody's going to do it the first time. They're not going to hear your message the first time. They're not going to click what you want them to download the first time. They're not going to do any of it. Look it up. The statistics are something, in the neighborhood of 12 to 15 impressions, if not more these days online, 23 impressions. I mean, it takes a lot for them to finally stop and go, man. And that's why I think what happens sometimes, Eric, is I know it happened and when we were working with appointments and had agents going out, meeting face to face, talking about the expert advisor system and everything, is they would start to feel like they had said it so much that they almost were hesitant to go through the process. When they showed up face to face and they have their placemat and everything, they're like, man, I've already mentioned the expert advisor system the first time we spoke. They already got the whiteboard video. I don't need to send it to them again. They watched it. Okay. Gosh, I don't need to go over the whole system. They got 3 or 4 emails about it. Mm-hmm. And so they wouldn't want to go, to go the lengths that the process required. So I don't know if everybody else runs into that, man, but we saw that a lot. I guess they just didn't maybe realize that, those people wouldn't have watched half of what they thought, and they sure wouldn't be able to recall it just because they had seen it once or twice. So it's a benefit to go through the process.
Yeah, half the time people are too busy thinking to listen to everything you say. And so you got to just repeat.
So what's your plan, the next step that you're going to be working on to get this to the point where, it's done for now?
I'm just going to finish the 8 video series, and I'm going to start kicking in the campaign, and I'll measure, how, my number of cancellation before starting the video campaign and after, to see, if there is a result. I'm pretty sure there will be. But then the next step is for me to do the same thing with the seller white paper.
Yeah.
And just kick that into gear. I mean, so it's always the same principle, different content, same principle.
So you have the seller whiteboard video. I mean, you have the buyer whiteboard video, right?
Yep. That's actually when I schedule the appointment, that's the very first video they get. And then after that, those videos will kick in.
Okay. All right, man. Yeah, that's good. And so, all right, well, fill us in, man. Let us know how it goes. We'd love to see what it looks like. Everybody can follow you on YouTube, or they can look you up on where?
You can look me up on Facebook, Eric Auger, or Eric Auger Real Estate. I say Auger because people remember easily. Or on YouTube, which is Living in Las Vegas. That's the name of the YouTube channel. That's the 2 places where you can find me the easiest.
Yeah, nice. All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you sharing it. Great job on implementing and turning that into something that we can actually, that you'll use, man. So let us know what happens next, and appreciate it. Have a great week.
You too. I'll keep you posted. Thanks.
All right, cool.